know it's not much earlier than my usual 4:30, but I'm usually not ready for people until like 6 a.m. and a coffee. But to get out of the deep freeze and go shoot a bunch of pro footage down in Florida, I'll make an exception. Bye-bye, beautiful bike. Morning, Trainiacs.
You're very smiley. It's too early even for me. Aisle seats for life. It is hot out there already, Trainiacs. I'm digging this. I want to say that it's 27 degrees Celsius. Hey, LA, goodness, look at this place. So we are here, Clermont, Florida, from today, Tuesday, until Friday. We're doing work with Jesse Kropelnicki's QT2 Systems Pro Team. It's kind of similar to what we did in Scottsdale a few weeks ago. If you were there, we want to see what pro triathletes do at a training camp. Meanwhile, we also get to do some podcasts with them, play a little bit of Jenga tomorrow and Thursday. Gonna see if I can get in a little swim, but for now, I gotta get in a run. I gotta go out here and show off my bare chest. Oh, also, I forgot my running shorts, so board short run. Seriously? Could this be any more Florida? Ooh, nice. 5.4 kilometers in just over 27 minutes, nothing fast. Recently learned that travel knocks the bejesus out of me, so while I travel, I shouldn't be really smashing myself in workouts. Also, a couple of interesting lessons. One, bushes are an excellent place to hide a shirt in Florida. And two, it's hilly here. All right, let's go clean ourselves up and go meet Jesse Kropelnicki and the gang. Board shorts are not an adequate substitute for running shorts. Jesse Kropelnicki, welcome to the show.
What's up, man?
Glad
you're here.
Just showed up in Clermont about an hour and a half ago, went for a run. Apparently it's hilly and sandy here. I'm not used to this.
It is weird. People don't believe this is Florida. You would never, wait until tomorrow when you see the bike routes. You're gonna be surprised.
When was your first race? I should know this.
First triathlon?
Yeah.
97.
97?
Yep. I raced a sprint triathlon in Harriman State Park in New York, which is where I grew up, in 1997. Yep.
Can you think back to, say, what happened in those first few races, lessons that you learned, and like triathlon changes everyone,
yeah.
and you wouldn't still be in the sport if it didn't change you in those first couple of years.
Yeah.
What was it about triathlon that changed you then that has allowed you to have this 70-person company, coach 13 pros, multiple Ironman wins, all the accomplishments that you've had? Like, what can you pinpoint back?
I'm a firm believer. Passion is like an insanely powerful word. And a lot of people, I think, in triathlon get that bug, right? They do their first triathlon, they immediately have a passion for it. And I'm you know, anything that I've ever done, I get ridiculous, probably overly passionate about it, and then just dedicate to it.
The QT, for anyone that doesn't know, it's quantitative training?
Quantitative triathlon training systems, right?
Quantitative triathlon
this is
training
a little lesson in history. When we started, in 2004, I started Quantitative Triathlon Training Systems. That just didn't quite roll off the tongue. I still have the old kits we had. That was like wrapped around the body.
Yeah, we were talking about that at TBI.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, it was going all the way around the back.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't quite roll off the tongue. So I said, this isn't going to work. The domain name was way too long. So I said, well, what about, QT squared, right? 2T squared. So I said, well, let me see if QT2 Systems is available domain name. And it was. So we got that. And then I said, well, hell with it. Let's just name it that. It's a lot easier. So yeah, that's the background.
And was the first thing that you came out with that race predictor?
Yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
triathlon calculator. That was one of the first things.
Can you talk about that in terms of like the QT of the
Yeah.
QT2?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's simple and complicated at the same time, right? And I had this discussion once already today. The approach that we take, the only thing that's consistent in it is, and what we educate, I mean, we've got a staff of 45 people. We're educating all the time with new training approaches, nutrition approaches, sports psychology, mechanics, whatever it may be. The only thing we're really consistent in is making sure we always identify and know at any given point what the top 5 limiters are for any one of the athletes that we work with, okay? And hopefully we've now educated and developed tools and resources for almost every limiter that's out there on which direction to go if that limiter exists. That's kind of inherent in our approach. That's at the core what we do. We have a protocol or some process to assess if this limiter exists, and if it does, go this way. If it doesn't, go that way. There's no really one answer to anything.
What's it like being on the sidelines as a coach when
Oh,
you're like if that's what you're thinking, because you're not thinking about
Yeah.
the physiology
No,
of
I'm
how
really
they're
not.
doing. You're thinking
I'm
about
really not.
what's going on inside
Yeah.
their head, because that's what you've been focused on for from the sounds of it the
Oh
entire
yeah,
year.
pretty much. I mean, it's equal parts exciting and fun as terrifying and miserable. Equal, like dead equal. Yeah, it is. Depending on the race, right? And where the athlete is coming into the race. But the higher pressure races like the World Champs, I mean, you know, you just never know what you're going to get. And you know it's a high stake, right? You know whatever the athlete does at that race, in their head is going to define them for the next 1 year period. So that's a lot for you as coach to have to work with or try to work with over the next 1 year period just based on one day.
Do you have a race that you think back to most often that, I don't know, just for one reason or another is stuck with you?
As a coach, or
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's easy for me. As a coach, the first time you have in my case, a pro win an Ironman, that's something you never forget, and that really plants a seed that makes you want to do more of that, right? Any coach that's worth a grain of salt is insanely competitive, and I'm no different. So as soon as you get a taste of that, you say, I want more of that. I'm not one of these people who switched college majors, right? Because I made a decision when I was in high school, that I wanted to be an engineer, and that was the path that I took. I never took a single class that wasn't useful. You know what I mean? So I was like that. I did my first triathlon. I said, this is awesome. There's a lot of pieces to this. There's mechanics, there's psychology, there's swim, there's bike, there's run, there's nutrition. I like the complexity of this. And I've always had a passion, if I really stripped it down to something raw, I've always had a passion for trying to predict real world events with science. You know what I mean? Even when I was an engineer, that was what I liked to do. I like to try to predict the way a structure would behave in the real world, and this is very similar. So I think the complexity of triathlon after my first triathlon got me excited and passionate about it, and then just dedicated to it, yeah.
There you go. That is Jesse Kropelnicki, one of the funnest names to say in triathlon coaching. I didn't realize this, but apparently they have the most amateurs in Kona for the last 2 years. Learn something new every day. All right, the pros have a big day tomorrow, so that means we have a big day tomorrow. Later, Trainiacs. Oh, and if you aren't yet subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, because we have a whole bunch of pro training content coming up over the next few days. Okay, now rest up. Bye.